Let me start out by telling you there was a funeral in Cleveland, Ohio today for 12-year-old Tamir Rice, the little boy shot by police last month. He was remembered today by mourners at his funeral. He was praised for his budding talents and described as a popular child who liked to draw, play basketball, and perform in the school's drumline. Carletta Goodwin, who is Tamir's sixth-grade teacher, told mourners at Mount Sinai Baptist Church that Tamir was well-liked and could be found helping classmates. She said, pausing as her voice broke, Tamir consistently came to school every day. He would tap on his desk. He would sing to himself. I would say, okay, that's enough, because he would get the rest of the class going. While he sometimes struggled in school, his teacher said, she pushed him to be the best student possible. His teacher, Carletta Goodwin, told the boy's mother, Samaria Rice, who wept openly during the funeral, I thank you for your son's life. He will be greatly missed. Cleveland police, the day of the shooting, were responding to a 911 call about a child with a gun outside the city's Goodell Recreation Center. And you know the rest of the story. Before the mourners poured out of Tamir's funeral, Pastor Henry Curry promised that the young boy's death wouldn't be in vain. He said, quote, he lived a beautiful, awesome life of 12 years because his parents, his extended family, raised him to know beyond a reasonable shadow of a doubt that his life had a purpose, a value, and meaning. Remember, this 12-year-old was gunned down less than 2 seconds after the cops arrived. The 12-year-old was struck twice in the torso, according to investigators. Cleveland police are still investigating, and the county prosecutor has said the case will go before, don't laugh, a grand jury to decide whether there should be charges against the cop. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. Go before a grand jury? Are you goddamn kidding me? And then later on today, news of the grand jury in Staten Island. A grand jury that cleared Officer Daniel Pantaleo in the chokehold death of, oh my, here's this phrase again, an unarmed black man who was being questioned and arrested for selling untaxed cigarettes. Was he committing a robbery, a murder, violence? No. He was selling untaxed cigarettes, 2 or 3 at a time. The video's playing right now, again, on MSNBC. Big man. And they grab him around the neck and execute him on the street in Staten Island. That's what it was. It was an execution. It is against police regulations to put that kind of a chokehold on somebody. And on the tape, and whoever plays the tape for you, MSNBC or CNN, will help you. They will put the language up every time you hear Eric Garner say, I can't breathe. 11 times. 11 times. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. 11 times. So I wonder how much longer I truly wonder how much longer this is going to go on. Black folk being shot down in the street. Prosecutor taking it before a grand jury, and the grand jury saying, well, okay, no thanks. Now, in this particular case of Eric Garner, the coroner for Staten Island had already ruled. Now, I don't know. I'm not a prosecutor or a cop, or I don't understand criminal legal system, but the coroner had ruled this killing a homicide. A homicide. Doesn't it stand to reason? I mean, I don't know what that means. Does that mean that the corpse is a corpse because a person killed the corpse before it was a corpse? Is homicide a legal term? Is it a catch-all phrase? I don't know. But in my ignorance, I've always believed that homicide meant somebody committed a murder. If somebody committed a murder and the evidence of who committed that murder, this Pantaleo, was presented, I mean, Jesus Christ, this is not like the situation in Ferguson. There was a videotape of the execution of Eric Garner. It's right there. You can see it. I can see it. Everybody can see it. And the grand jury in Staten Island, I heard somebody say today, well, Malloy, come on. Well, they weren't talking to me. That grand jury, there are 14 black members and 9 white members. What the hell do you want? Justice? But if you have watched or you do watch the murder of Eric Garner, and you as an individual, because I tried to do this today, if you see resistance on Eric Garner's part as the cops approached him, if you look at the video, he's standing there. He's got his, I hate to say it, but he's got his hands up about shoulder height. And he's looking at these cops like, what the hell is going on? 5 or 6 cops come at him, and he's backing up, and they get him against a plate glass window. And the next thing you know, the cop that turns out to be Daniel Pantaleo has got him around the neck. Just for what? For selling cigarettes? Got him around the neck, dragging him to the ground, and all of a sudden it looks like a bunch of rats on a corpse. All these cops come swarming in on this guy. Just effing unbelievable. Just whoom! And you hear him you hear his voice getting weaker. I can't breathe. Phone lines are open. I'd like to. I don't know how to do the program tonight. So, phone lines are open. 877-996-2556. If you want to call in and comment on this, I would appreciate it. There are demonstrations now, of course, in New York City, in Manhattan, in Staten Island, all over the country. This might be the trigger event. We'll be right back. The grand jury was told that Garner was resisting arrest. If you look at the video, I swear to you, I do not see resisting arrest. But that's just me. What do I know? I thought in the Rodney King case that I thought I saw 4 or 5 cops beating the living hell out of a human being who was laying down on the street. But a jury in Simi Valley, was it Simi Valley, California, said, no, I don't see nothing. Do you see something? I don't see nothing. And look what happened after that. in the nation's second largest city, right? So I don't know. Maybe I look at videotape and I see somebody being choked to death with 5 or 6 cops swarming over him, and I don't see the person fighting back. I see the person starting to panic and then going down with arms around his neck and people on top of him and trying to bend his arm backward to put cuffs on him. Didn't the grand jury see that? I guess not. I don't know. And this happened in July. This is December. You know us. Hey, awful lot of Dancing with the Stars episodes between then and now. Easy to forget stuff, right? I don't know. What did I see? And the coroner rules it a homicide. What does that mean? And the cop who killed him said, quote, "I became a police officer to help people and protect those who can't protect themselves." Oh, for Christ's sake, stop it. He went on to say, "It is never my intention to harm anyone, and I feel very bad about the death of Mr. Garner." Mr. Garner? Is that what you call them when they're dead? Your victims? Mr. Garner? Yeah. Gotcha. Gotcha. And then the police union officials said that Garner's poor health was the main reason he died. You can look at the video and you can see somebody who obviously is morbidly overweight. But you know what? Poor health or not, I'm sure he was diabetic, I think I read. I'm sure he had heart trouble. I'm sure he had breathing problems. But you know what? If you don't put a goddamn chokehold on somebody in those conditions, they won't die. Not the way Eric Garner died. Poor health, huh? Yeah, he would have survived us choking the Jesus out of him, except he was in poor health. I'll be damned. I mean, some of the statements are just unbelievable. I don't know what constitutes murder anymore. I really don't. I live in a country where the President of the United States, Democrat and Republican, can order drone strikes against people who are presumed to be our enemies. And if 20 or 30 people around them, or 10 or 5, happen to be killed with the person that has been designated our enemy, oh, well, you know. What do they want? $2,000 a victim? Okay, give the goddamn Afghans some money so they'll shut up with this human rights stuff, right? That's the country I live in. I live in a country where a guy who released information that showed the treachery and the duplicity and the lies and the deceit at the highest levels of government. Ed Snowden has to live in Russia for fear of coming back here and facing these sons of bitches. I live in a country where we have had 110 people locked down in Guantanamo, being force-fed, who've never been even accused of a crime. So why am I surprised when this happens? Maybe it's because we're reading 1984 again on this program. And we're getting into the intensity of the thought police and newspeak and the way the people in Oceania have to live and the parallels. Wait till you hear tonight's reading, which is the entire third hour. We're going to do it that way till this is finished. Wait till you hear it. So many times I'm reading that book on the program, and I want to stop and point out the comparison between what's happening now and what Orwell wrote about in 1949. And I know I don't have to, because the people who are listening to it, you know You see what's going on.